It was just another dull afternoon in my high school English class. The fluorescent lights buzzed faintly, and the hum of pages turning mixed with the occasional whisper of bored students. Our teacher, Mrs. Ellington, was reviewing Shakespeare, but most of us were mentally checked out, just waiting for the final bell. That's when the intercom crackled to life. At first, there was silence. Then, a voice I didn't recognize came on. It was a man, and he spoke in a low, uneven tone. "Lock your doors. Stay quiet. This is not a drill." A shiver ran down my spine. There was something off about the voice. It wasn't the principal or any faculty member I had ever heard before. Mrs. Ellington's face turned pale as she rushed to the door, locking it and flipping off the lights. The windows were covered quickly, and she motioned for us to gather in the corner. A thick silence settled over the room, broken only by the soft, panicked breathing of my classmates. Then, from somewhere down the hall, came the sound of heavy, deliberate footsteps. They weren't hurried, like a teacher moving through the corridors during an emergency. No, these were slow. Purposeful. And then, knocking. Not frantic pounding. Not a desperate cry for help. Just a slow, steady series of knocks, right outside our classroom door. My friend, Jake, shifted uncomfortably next to me, his hand gripping his knee tightly. Nobody dared move. Nobody dared breathe. Then the doorknob rattled. Someone was trying to open it. A muffled voice, too low to be clear, whispered something from the other side. My heart pounded so hard I thought whoever was out there might hear it. The whispering stopped. A long silence stretched out, then came the footsteps again, moving down the hall. Relief flooded me, but it didn't last long. From the hallway, we heard another door open. And then, a scream. A piercing, blood-curdling scream. It sounded like a girl, but we couldn't tell who. The scream was cut off, replaced by a loud crash, like a desk being thrown over. Then nothing. No footsteps, no voices. Just an unbearable silence. One of the girls in my class let out a quiet sob, and Mrs. Ellington put a finger to her lips, her expression pleading. We waited. Every second stretched into an eternity. Then, the intercom crackled again. This time, it was the principal's voice. "Everyone stay in lockdown. Authorities are on the way." His voice was shaking. I had never heard him sound like that before. Minutes crawled by. Then, more knocking. But not at our door. It was moving down the hall, growing fainter, like whoever it was had left. Then, a noise I will never forget. A dragging sound. Like something heavy being pulled across the floor. It moved slowly, painfully, right outside our classroom. I clenched my fists, praying it would pass. And then, just outside the door, something was placed against it. The bottom of the door shifted slightly, like someone had leaned against it from the outside. More silence. We didn't move. We didn't even breathe. After what felt like forever, sirens wailed in the distance. A few minutes later, heavy boots stormed the hallways. A deep voice shouted, "Police! Come out with your hands up." Mrs. Ellington hesitated before unlocking the door. When she did, the sight outside made my stomach turn. Lying against the door was a student from another class. A girl. Her eyes were wide open, but she wasn't moving. Blood streaked the floor beside her, smeared in long, dragging trails. The police swarmed the building, searching every room, every hallway, but whoever had done this, they were gone. Vanished without a trace. Later, we learned that the security cameras had somehow been disabled right before the lockdown started. There was no footage of the intruder entering or leaving the school. No evidence. No suspect. To this day, no one knows who he was. Or what he wanted. But I still remember that knocking. Slow. Steady. right outside our door.